Hello Power Rangers fans and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I kind of wanted to show off my Power Rangers Megaforce card game collection. So this is kind of a video idea I had back in November when I did that video about the other pieces of the Megaforce blaster that I had finally bought off of eBay. And today I'm going to show you every Power Rangers action card game card that I have collected. And I collected these a lot during 2013 when all the different packs came out. I bought a lot of Megaforce toys to get a bunch of them. I'm still missing a lot of cards. There's also a ton that never got released in the US or never got released at all. But if you were not familiar with these were just cards that were based off of the cards from Goseiger, or the Daiso card game from Super Sentai. And they came out in everything Megaforce. Every single Megaforce Zord, and the figures, and the roleplay items all had cards. And then of course they also had the actual card game packs, which came out in these different series over the course of 2013. They had 4 series that were released in the United States, and a 5th series that was released only in Europe. And then there was another series that was planned for Super Megaforce, and we got to see all the concept art and stuff for it, or kind of the designs of the cards, and they just never got released, unfortunately, so that was definitely a shame. But this was the centerpiece of the toy, or of the whole card game thing. It was the Gosei Morpher, the deluxe Gosei Morpher, and I love this thing. One of the best Morphers we've ever had. It's definitely taken a little bit of beating on mine since I have owned it for nearly 10 years at this point, because it's 2022 now, so that's crazy. So we had this one, which this one does not have any batteries in it anymore. Well, the one that does, though, is my other one that I bought a couple of years ago, the San Diego Comic-Con 2013 exclusive version, which was all gold-plated chrome, which looks very, very pretty. Although I bought this one secondhand for a really good deal, but it didn't come with any of the exclusive cards that one had, unfortunately. Which is kind of a shame, but you know. But yeah, I like this one a lot, and this one does have batteries in it right now, so I can actually use some of the cards if I wanted to. But this is my big card binder, so I bought a bunch of card sleeves and such during 2013, and I've bought so many of these cards. Be sure to check out my Halloween video I uploaded last year, because that was a extra clip that I had found on my camera of an unboxing or unbagging of the cards, I guess. From 2013 actually. So here is my card collection. So let's go ahead and kick it off here. And yeah, I bought quite a bit. So we're just gonna look at all of them and you guys can see the gaps that I have as well. Which I am kind of in the market for trying to fill the gaps. So I would one day like to complete this entire thing. But there was a bunch of different types of cards. There was the promo cards, which were the stuff that came with the toys. And then there was series 1, 2, 3, 4. And then other ones like this. So on the first page here, I have some of those weirder ones. So these ones are not even cards. These are just cardboard inserts that came on some of the toys. They were try me cards, or showing you that they use cards. This one is a really fun one. I gotta show this one off here. This is the Boppers Card, which is a reference to my buddy Rai, one of her old YouTube videos from 2013. Her April Fool's video, she did a video on the Power Rangers Megaforce Boppers, which were these, inflatable little punching bag things. And so she took one of these extra cards and drew this exact card, which I made a replica of, because I got an extra one of the Tiger Claw Summoning Weapon card in one of my packs, and I decided to turn it into the Boppers card. I was a really big fan of her videos back in 2011, 2012, 2013, before I ever met her on Geek Each Week or anything like that. So that was a pretty cool thing that I made back then, once I got an extra of that card. And then these ones were part of the McDonald's set, because when they released this Megazord McDonald's toy thing, which I do own, but when they released that in the Happy Meal toys in the fall of 2013, they released these cards with them. Definitely you can see there was a bias towards the males on the team, because while there were 6 toys and 6 Rangers, the female Zords came with a Megazord card and a Megaforce Power Rangers card. So that was kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, these ones were basically the same quality as, I have a couple extras of them too. They were the same quality as the rest of the cards. You just had to kind of get lucky that they weren't completely bent or destroyed or anything like that, because they were in the Happy Meal bags. But yeah, there was a lot of repeats. There was a lot of legendary Rangers in these cards, because it was to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers and everything. And I love these things. I never knew how to play the card game. I just like looking at all the pretty art. So right here is the promos, I believe, or is this Series 1? No, this is Series 1. That's right. Because for whatever reason, I decided to put Series 1, and then the promos, and then Series 2, 3, and 4. I don't know why I structured it like that, but Series 1 I completed most of, I believe. I think I might have actually completed it. I know in the time since, in the last like 2 years or so, I've tried to fill a couple of the gaps that I had for a long time. And I think I completed the first 3 series. I think. I'll have to double check here. I know I don't, I'm pretty sure I have not completed Series 4. I know that for a fact. But, yeah, I mean, this was a good first series. It encompassed Megaforce, Samurai, and RPM, so it had the most recent seasons at the time. And it was like the only way to get the Battle Gear summoning cards for these 3 Rangers, and then a lot of it was just a bunch of different Megaforce Ranger artworks from numerous Daiso cards, or they were Power Rangers original artworks, but like these ones that were like these animations, these kind of things, those were definitely from Daiso, from Sentai. So same thing with some of these Rangers, you know, artwork on here. I love the artwork on these cards. This was like one of the best things. I loved collecting these things. They just were so nice. And it was like the first time I ever did like a collectible thing. I mean, like I said, I bought these all the time. And you had the super rares, which were these foil cards, because every pack had a super rare or an ultra rare. So if they were a silver foil, they were a super rare with the star not being filled in, and then an ultra rare with the star being filled in. So these 2 were ultra rares, the Land Megazord and the Swordfish Fencer Megazord. So the Megazord cards were pretty cool. They also had some cool artwork on them as well. You had some like individual Zord ones. These ones were interesting because these were not what the Zords were actually called once the show came out. They were not called the Aqua and Terra. They were called the Land and the Sea. So that was interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Got a nice foil. They did a lot of 6s as foils and stuff. And then I loved this. Even though every single villain card had the same barcode, so they did the same thing in the Gosei Morpher, we got a good amount, like Master Xandrid and Decker, Serrator, Octoroo. They even did some random monsters of the week sometimes, like Stiletto. And we got like different, you know, troopers or whatever, like the Moogers, Grinders, the Loogies. So these were fun. And then of course Mighty Morphin. I forgot Mighty Morphin was in this first set, but of course it was. So I think Mighty Morphin was in probably every set. I don't know if it was in the second set though. I don't remember quite that far ahead just yet. But I know the Dino Megazord was one of the last cards I needed. That was one that took me a long time to finally find. Same thing with the Battle Mode Dragon Zord one. I know that was a very hard one for me to find. I'll never forget when I got this card, this ultra rare Red Samurai Shark Attack mode, because I remember we were like coming out of a Target in like 2013, and I bought one. I bought, you know, another pack. Every time I went to the store, I tried to like convince my parents to let me get a pack or something, and they would like buy a bunch of extra ones and not tell me, and they would like keep them as like prizes whenever I like did chores or something like that. They'd be like, "Oh hey, here's a card pack," or I could trade in my allowance for a card pack that they would already have had in the house and I didn't know. So that was really fun. But yeah, like I remember opening this up like in the back of the car and like freaking out because I got an ultra rare and it was like one of my first ultra rares. And then this one was, these ones were all like, you definitely got them because the first series and the third series had these starter packs that had like dice and like a game mat and everything. And they came with the same predetermined 30 cards. I think it was 30. But yeah, so these last 30 here were all definitely ones that you would get for sure. They were in the pack. So just a bunch there and then it ends the series. So now we're getting to ones that I know I have a lot of gaps in. And these were the promo cards, easily the most abundant number of cards. However, not even every promo card ever released. There was a number of canceled products from Power Rangers Megaforce that never ended up coming to fruition, that definitely had cards that were planned that never happened. Like the Metallic Force Lost Galaxy Red Ranger, that was supposed to come out, that was supposed to have a card, that didn't happen. But you can see on this first page here, the only ones I had, and also I don't remember exactly what toy everything came with, but we had a Megaforce Red and a Megaforce Black card. What else? So I know like this one came with the Gosei Morpher. I know these ones came with the figures. This was with the Blaster, Morpher. These came with their Zords, I believe. These ones came with the power weapons that I just did that video on back in November and everything like that. Let's see, everything else kind of was pretty explanatory. I know this one came with, I think, was it that one? No, I think it's a later one that came with like the Missile Fire Megazord that I had. Let's see here. Yeah, it came with the Gosei Jet. These came with, was it the Ultra Mode figures that had those? No, the Ultra Mode figures had the change cards, I think. So I don't exactly remember where I got those ones from. This came from like one of those minifigure bag things. Oh, actually, this came from the set of them. There was individual cards like this that came with minifigure bags. This is an interesting card. So you can see right here, this is an example of one of the European styled cards where it has a little E next to the number and the bottom looks different and it doesn't say the season name right there. It doesn't even say the character's name, it just says the season name. Because for some reason when I got my Rock figure back a couple years ago, one of my uncles, I think, bought it for me off of like Amazon or something, and they got sent the European version of the toy, which came with the European version of the card. So technically I need to track down an American version of this card. The artwork is the same, the number is the same, the barcode's the same, but the style is a little bit different. But this is what that 5th series of cards looked like that never got released over here. And then a bunch of these reds came with the Morpher, although this one came with the Armored Might Red Ranger figure, which I love that figure. I know that's what that came with. But yeah, skipping forward here, this is the card that came with that Mystifier and Megazord. And then we have a bunch of gaps here for a bunch of stuff. I don't have any of the cards that go on that page. So this one, I have one of the little minifigure bags. That's where that Z came from. And then we have some more stuff that came with toys and everything. This came with the Metallic Force White Ranger. And then these ones towards the very end of the promos are pretty fun. This one came with the Clash of the Red Rangers DVD. So that was an interesting one. This one was a New York or San Diego Comic-Con giveaway card. Like if you were just near the Power Rangers booth, they would give you this card. And it had a unique artwork on it and everything. So I bought off of eBay for like $5 or something a couple years ago, I think. And then these ones were really cool. These were Target exclusive packs. So they came with 3 packs of Series 2 cards, which we're about to look at. So they were Target exclusive. One pack had this card in the front, one pack had this card in the front, and they formed a picture of the 10 Red Rangers from Forever Red. So I really like this series. This one introduced, off the top of my head, it introduced Ninja Storm and Lost Galaxy? No, I don't think so. Ninja Storm in space, I think. Lightspeed, I think. We'll know in a second here. SPD. Yeah. So Lightspeed got introduced in this series. They would do this thing where like they would introduce series and then or like new shows into a series, and then like their 6th Rangers or extra Rangers would be in the following series of cards. So that was kind of interesting. But this of course had more RPM, it had more Samurai, it had more Megaforce, so those were never gonna go away here. So beautiful art on some of these. I love it. I love the swap modes here, especially because the swap modes you can definitely tell are Sentai cards because they have like Hoji and stuff back there. Deca, you can see Deca and everything. Deca Yellow and Deca Armor and everything. Like it's all back there. Like the Sentai names are totally still there. And Sentai definitely had some more influence in Series 3, which we'll look at in a second. There's that Ultra Rare Shadow Ranger I was mentioning before. Oh yeah, Mystic Force, that's right. So I know Series 3 introduced a lot of cool mechanics into the game as well, if I ever knew how to play that. So Diabolico, that's a really sweet card right there. Love that. Ultra Rare. I mean, the Ultra Rares just looked pretty anyway, that gold and everything on it. And you get Vexicus, that's a cool Ninja Storm villain to have. Mentor G in Bulk. I love that they gave Bulk a card. That's incredible. And you got Korag. You got the Gold Ranger Mega Mode. That's a really sweet one. And also, like, you got some more of the Zord cards that we didn't have in the promos. Samurai Gigazord. I like how Lauren even got a Super Samurai card. You got all 4 of the RPM Megazords if you collected Series 1 and Series 2. And they were also building up, like, the different individual RPM Zords and Samurai Zords. So, like, you really had a lot of variety. For the shows that they did focus on a lot of, they focused on a lot of, you know, and Lost Galaxy was in this series. So that was a really sweet card too. The Mystic Force Dragon Armor one of my favorite battleizers. And then this series did not have a promo pack at the end. So that just ended at 115 cards. But I'm pretty confident that I do have all 115 cards. Because it was Series 1 and 2 were, no, sorry, Series 1 and 3 were 120 cards with a promo pack or a starter pack. And then Series 2 and 4 had no starter packs, and I think were 115 each. So I did. And this, like, look at this page of villains at the end. You know, Tritron, Optimus, which I believe was, like, the first time this was used as, like, a canon name for the Master from Mystic Force. So that was neat. Rita and Desperano, which is just a random Samurai Monster of the Week. Ecliptor, can't wait for your Lightning figure, buddy. And then we get into Series 3, which might be my favorite. Series 4 is also really great. But, like, what the heck is happening here? Like, they used this Daiso art that had unadapted Sentais on it, which are not even Rangers yet, officially, even in the comics or anything. You know, the comics have delved into Flashman. We're doing Die Ranger right now, a little bit of Five-Man. But like Vol Eagle here from Sun Vulcan's there. We never used that in any capacity, I think. Go Ranger is present on these cards on Megaforce Black and Megaforce Blue. So I know that they, obviously, they didn't like mistakenly did that. They acknowledged that they had done that as like a little Easter egg thing. So I think I have all of Series 3 as well. We'll take a look here and be sure. But, you know, you got a lot more Samurai, of course. I don't remember if RPM makes an appearance as much in this set. And there it is. It most certainly does. So, oh yeah. So this was the series that introduced the team cards, which we saw with like the McDonald's Megaforce card back at the beginning. But they did RPM. They did a bunch of them going forward here. And I think they mostly got through all the teams before the card game got canceled. I think they got close. So that was pretty neat. And this one had Jungle Fury introduced. So you have the Jungle Fury Power Rangers, and these were kind of strange too, where sometimes they would do team cards that didn't have the whole team. Like right here, it's just the main trio. So that's kind of interesting. But this is kind of what I was talking about too. Like, you know, SPD got introduced in Series 2, but Omega was not present until this series. This one also introduced my favorite Power Ranger series with Dino Thunder. So we have Dino Thunder Red, Triassic, and Triassic Battleizer, so all of Connor's modes except for Super Dino. SPD Power Rangers was a card there. And we have the rest of the Dino Thunder team. And this series also introduced the Ranger villain cards for characters that would fall into both categories. So that was pretty cool. And this page is just all Dino Thunder. So I love this page here with the team card and the individual Zords. So that was pretty sweet. And they also did this for the Zords as well, Zord villains. And they kind of went back and did previously released characters that would have fallen into that category as well, like Crimson and Navy. They did Super Mode of him, Ninja Storm Power Rangers, another one that's just the trio. Would have been kind of cool if they did like a Thunder Ranger card or something. And then they did both versions of the Storm Megazord. We have the whole Wild Force team here, which is really nice. I like this one that has the blazing line in the background. I like that art a lot. This one also had Time Force, which does have all 6 of them, and the Quantosaurus, and the Q-Rex Megazord. A random Lightspeed Red. We got Magna Defender to go with Lost Galaxy from the last series. And then we get Zeo. Beautiful, beautiful Zeo artwork here. I love this. You get this really awesome, you know, super rare metallic gold one. And then you get an ultra rare of the team card. And you get Zane up there. And then we have the end of the series, the main series, before we get to the promo pack, or the starter pack. So we have Lothor and Zeltrax. I love the Daishi and Camille got cards here. The Mighty Morphin team, of course, is an ultra rare. I know this card was a hard one to find. The Evil Green Ranger card, that was a hard one. And then an ultra rare of Lord Zed. So that's pretty neat. So I like how they kind of put villains towards the end. I think that was always a common theme as well. So this was the starter pack this time. So these were guaranteed 30 cards that gave you all the super modes of them. And really nice artwork here of kind of like the finisher attack Shinkenger stuff there. And you got the Samurai team card. And you got a Megaforce team card at the end here as well. And this is where you got the other members of the team with the Go Rangers, which I don't think, did they release one with Red, now that I think about it? I don't remember. But now we head into the final series, the final main series released in the United States. And I know, like I said earlier, for a fact that I'm missing a couple of the cards from here, but only a couple. So I did 100% complete series 1, 2, and 3. But for this one here, I'm close. I think I'm only missing maybe like 3 cards from the show or from this series. So if you have them for good prices, I would be interested. I'm just gonna say that outright. I would like to, you know, grab all the remaining cards I'm missing, but since I am so close with this series, I would definitely be willing to buy them if anyone has them. But we have this card finally. This took so long for them to release it, the summon card for the Shark Bowgun. And in this series, the kind of gimmick that they introduced was these dual cards. So they had 2 Rangers on the same card, which, if you didn't know, the Megaforce Morpher or the Ghostly Morpher could read all these cards and give them, you know, unique names. They had every Ranger programmed in there. So for these ones, I believe they just said Megaforce, or they would say the team name or whatever. So here's one that I'm missing. I don't remember everything that I'm missing off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I know what card that is. But here we have another ultra rare. I like that they did this one, because this was a form scene at the end of Samurai for like a minute, if that. I know this card right here that I'm missing is the Shark Attack RPM Red from Clash the Red Rangers. I know that's the one that's missing there. But like you have cool cards like this, like Red and Rebonite. Let's see. This is a complete page. So you have a couple more duo cards, which these are really cool. These ones make sense. You know, like the Go on Wings, basically, or like the two of them. That's a cool one. I like this a lot. I just like how they just split up the RPM team up here. You know, you have the main trio that started, the 2 Rangers that joined, and the other 2 Rangers that joined. It just works. You get the Spirit Rangers, which is awesome, and I like that they clarified them as Ranger villains as well, because, you know, they were for a time, so that's pretty sweet. And you get Overdrive got introduced this time around, so they got through most of the seasons by this point. And there's the Overdrive team, and then you have like these ones which are not designated as like power-up cards, but you have like the fists and the big muscles and everything. Sentinel Knight got a card, so I like that. Wolf Warrior finally got one here. The Legend modes for the Mystic Force Rangers. We got the Sonic mode of the Battleizer up there, and more Dino Thunder combinations that we just didn't get before. Thunder Megazord got registered as a villain and a hero card or whatever. So same thing with this, where it was both of them together on like a villain ranger card. So that mechanic still continued for this series. Then you had some random ones that were like team up cards. So like this is a very strange card. That is a very weird one. They never interacted. Lightspeed Yellow and Wild Force Blue. That's a very weird one. All right. Okay, cool. See, like, these ones make sense. Actual Lightspeed Rangers paired with Lightspeed Rangers. I did get the Titanium card finally. I know that was a hard one for me to find, but I did get that one. What else do we have here? More Lost Galaxy cards, and In Space. That's a cool one. Another team up card from like 2 to the 10th power and stuff like that. That's a sweet one. You get the Turbo Rangers here, Blue Centurion, so that's really awesome. Did I ever get the Phantom Ranger card? I don't remember if I did. Alien Rangers are here. And then we have the last 2 that I'm missing here. If I remember correctly. So, does that mean I'm missing, what, 3 or 4 total cards from this series? I know that one of these 2 that I'm missing is the Retro Rangers card. I know that for a fact. So I'm missing the Retro Rangers card, and I think the other one is a Mighty Morphin Green villain card. I think it's the one that goes there, because then I think Retro Rangers goes here. Could be wrong on that, but I'll put up like pictures of them. So, you know, if anybody has those couple cards for a good price, which I know maybe you wouldn't because it's so old, I would be interested. But I love that Dr. K got a card, and also I love that her power levels are Pi 3.1415. Awesome. So, and then to finish it off, we had the Psycho Rangers and their team cards. So what a series. You know, I loved collecting these cards. It was really, really fun. Just don't want to bend up that last page right there. Come on, be careful. But yeah, these were great, and I would love to complete this set someday, but you know, they just didn't make everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of long, and it was kind of just me talking about cards, but you know, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys collected these cards, how many are you missing? Did you have more than I did, which you might if you had bought more cards? Do you live in Europe to where you were able to get that Series 5 that was really hard to get, which had, basically that series had a bunch of reprints of cards, but it also had a bunch of new ones that never got released before, that unlocked sounds that we didn't have other cards for, like the Turbo Megazord and Lost Galaxy Megazord and stuff like that come to mind. And we've seen pictures of them online, we just don't have them really from US versions. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and of course, until next time, you can follow me on Twitter, @LivingRangerKey or @LightningFigPR, and I'll see you all next time.